Hello class and welcome to lesson 2 of React.js. In our previous lesson we looked at lesson 1 on introduction to React library. In this particular lesson we want to focus on how to create and how to set up a simple React application. And the objective of this lesson is to help you understand the tools that are needed for creating React application. Number 2, to help you understand the steps that you need to follow in creating React application. So with that said, let's get started. So let's look at the tools that are needed. For you to be able to create a React application, you need to have installed Node.js, and you also need to have at least one of the build tool. And what is this build tool? The build tool is the tool that helps you to bundle your application, compile your application, optimize your application, and prepare your React application for the browser to be able to execute and display it. Some of the examples of build tools and their use cases include these. So the Webpack build tool. Webpack is one of the mostly commonly widely used build tool, and it is used mostly when you are building large enterprise applications. And this is the default build tool that comes when you create React application by default. And this will be the build tool that we will be using in this course. The next build tool is the Vite. The Vite is another build tool which is used to build fast modern user interfaces and user applications. The rest include the Babel, the Rollup, the ES build, and the Parcel. So depending on the choice of you want to use, you can use any of these build tools. But in this course, we are going to use the default build tool. So with that said, let's look at the next objective. So the next thing is we want to look at the steps that you need to take when you want to create a simple React application. So for you to create a simple React application, you need to follow this series of these steps. So the first step is to create a folder where you want to save your project. And for that, I want to go to my desktop and create a folder where I will save my React project. So let me navigate to the desktop. And here, because I'm using Windows, I'm going to just right click and then click on new and then click on folder. And then right here, I'm going to type the folder name and let me call it React demo. React-demo. Once I've created the folder, the next step is to open this folder in your IDE. And what is an IDE? IDE is the Integrated Development Environment. So for our case, our IDE is the Visual Studio Code. So I need to open my VS Code. And once that is opened, I'm going to open a new window by clicking on File and New Window. And once that is done, I'm going to click Open a folder right here. And I'm going to navigate to Desktop and select the folder that I've just created, React Demo App, and click on Select. After opening the folder right here, I want to close this other window here, and I want to minimize this window here. After opening the folder in the VS Code, you can see the folder here, React Demo. The next step is to open the terminal. How do we open a new terminal in VS Code? So go back to VS Code and access the terminal from these three dots right here. So click on these three dots, click on the terminal and click on new terminal, and you're going to see that a terminal window is opened right below here. So let me close this console window, and now in my terminal you can see the cursor is pointing right to my folder React demo. After opening the terminal, the next step is to run this command. So you need to type this command in your terminal and press enter, and the command is npx create react app, and then you provide the app name. So the app name can be any name that you want to give to your application. So I'm going back to my terminal and type the command npx create react app, and then I'm going to give the app name. Let me call my application demo app 1, and then after that I'm going to go ahead and press enter. And once you press enter, you need to make sure that your computer is connected to the internet so that Node.js will be able to download the required dependencies to create this application. So when I press enter, it will take some time. Then it tells you it is creating a new React application and it is installing the packages or the dependencies. This might take some couple of minutes, so you have to wait for some time for downloading of these packages to be done. And you can see it is installing React package, React DOM, React scripts, and so many other templates. And depending on your internet speed, this might take some time before it completes. So you have got to wait for it until it completes the process of downloading all these dependencies. And once it downloads all the dependencies, then it is going to create your React application. And once your React application is created, then you can proceed to the next step and navigate to your project folder. But for now, let's wait for this process to finish. And once it is done, then we can proceed. So it might take a couple of minutes depending on my internet. I guess I have some slow internet here. So let's give it some time. Dependencies and libraries is done. So you can see now it has downloaded 264 packages, and it has also downloaded up here. You can see it has added 17 packages, and it also initialized Git repository by default. So it makes this folder, the folder that is here, it makes it a Git repository folder. Then it tells you that there are 9 vulnerabilities, and that is not a problem, maybe because I'm using outdated version of Node.js. I need to use the latest one. Then after that, it creates the React application demo. So it tells you success. It has created React demo app at this folder, and then it even gives you the command that now you can start running this command in order to start your development server or to display your React application. And then when you look on the left here, you can see there is another folder that has been created called demo app 1 within the React demo. And this folder is created using the application name that we have typed it here while creating the React application. So whatever name that you type here, React will automatically create another folder with this same name within this root folder. So after creating the React app successfully, the next step is to navigate to the project folder and then run the command. You run this command in order to navigate to your project folder. Now our project, all the code that has been created is within demo app 1. So what you need to do right now, when you look at your cursor at the terminal here, you can see you are at React demo folder. So what you need to do is to navigate or change directory to demo app app 1. Then press enter. Now you are in that folder. After navigating to that folder, the next step is now to display or run your application so that you can be able to view it in the browser. To be able to do that, you need to run this command npm start. So next we run the command npm start and then press enter. And after pressing the enter, Node is going to start this React application, and it is going to start the application using the Webpack. And once the application is started, it will automatically be opened in the browser in a new tab. And you can see now this application is loading. And then the URL here, it will open this application on port number 3000 by default. And once the application is opened, you can see by default React gives you this application with this React icon which is spinning, and then one paragraph and then one hyperlink. So this is the default layout of the React application when you first create without changing anything. So up to this point, we have been able to create our basic React application, and we've been able to run it and display it in the browser. In our next lesson, we will be able to modify the content of that application so that we can have a different content displayed here instead of this basic content, or instead of this default content. So we can even change and put our logo here. We can change and add even more paragraphs. We can even change and add more links. So we will look at that in our next lesson. In our next lesson also, we shall take a look and explain this folder structures and the file structures. So we shall be able to explain what is inside the node modules, what is inside the public folder, what is inside the src folder, and what is the use of this git-ignore file, what is the use of the package.json file, and what is the use of readme.md file. So with that said, I want to pause this lesson here, and then we shall be able to meet again in our lesson 3, where we understand the React folder and file structure. Otherwise, thank you for joining the lesson, and see you in our next video.